I'm just laughing because of this biological. So, okay, Marcus, I agree with you 100% that it's a biological thing, right?
Okay. Okay.
My question is why do men feel like they don't need to discipline their biological urges? Because if we're going to talk about acting on biology,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that especially in these spaces we hear a lot of is that women need to learn to control their emotions biologically, especially when we are going through our cycles, that we're gonna pop off. We have attitude. We may start flipping the script and that being disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
y'all tell us that we need to control it. But
You know
that's
we.
biology. So if we're gonna act on biology, right? There's so
Mm-hmm.
many behaviors that we could be doing
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we did not discipline ourselves to control certain things, but biologically.
So AP and HD, I got a question for you.
My neck hurts.
Do y'all, when women become overly emotional, do you accept it as that's part of something women do and it's a double standard that I can't behave that way, accept it and move on and adjust to it? Or do you throw a fit and break up with her for her acting that way?
So I don't I don't think the second half of what you said, but I do think that that's typically a woman being a woman and just kind of accept it as such.
But to what level though? Because I know my husband wouldn't. I know I have to check myself with I'm not gonna be running around talking about you motherfucking that, even though I might be
Now that's
screaming
not gonna
at
happen.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Even
I
though I
mean,
might be
with
screaming
That's
with
at
not
their
what.
him
That's not
reason.
inside because that's
like.
how I feel because of
Mm-hmm.
whatever's going on,
Mm-hmm.
I know I have to tame that. I'm not going to be able to just be like, I feel like this, and I know my hormones are raging, so I'm gonna say what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tame that. And that's all I'm saying. It's okay for you to feel like you want to go have sex with a million women. That's fine. I can't control your biological urge. All of us have biological urges. What I'm saying is, even though there's an urge, you can control it.
What I can control is, am I the source of the outrage? If I am not the source of the outrage, which I do try to control and not be the source of that outrage, I let her get that off her chest because that's the space I need to provide as a man for her to be able to get whatever that is off of her chest. That's that's where the control comes from. Now, if I'm the source of the outrage, I just got to kind of put up with it because it's my fucking fault.
I
Like,
just like to say the AP painted perfect guidelines in which somebody could do it. So the woman has emotional outbreaks, and he, as a masculine man, stays within frame, understands it, calms her down, and heeds her because he's creating a solution. You know what the solution for men? Never mind.
So let me ask you a question.
Never mind.
So, if we talk
every
about
time, fuck.
biology, let me ask you a question. Do you think that women wanting to have kids is biology? Is it's just natural for her to want to be a mom? But do we not
I
punish
do.
women for wanting to have children?
Don't
You
I
know,
don't I don't think
I,
they should be punished at all for that.
right. So because she's not married, so there was never an order. So she has to stay within certain guidelines of wanting to have that kid, right? There has to be a discipline that comes along with it to say no. For you to have that kid, these things have to take place first. Even though naturally biology, she's like, but I want a kid. Like I was born to give birth to something. But we try to confine her to
When
saying, no,
you're
these are
supposed
the
to
steps
control it.
to control yourself because you don't have this, you have to do this. And if you do it, we're going to punish you. So it's the same thing when it comes to male urges, right? You get punished when you do things out of order, when you're doing it not the way you're supposed to be doing, right? It doesn't change the fact that it's biology. It doesn't change the fact that there's an urge to want to do it, but it's you have to discipline yourself to say, no, this is how it's supposed to be done because society says this is how it's supposed to be done.
Shan, I could not agree with you more. And you know why I can't agree with you more? Because you said that you have to do things in a specific order as a solution. We in
Mhm.
agreement. I just we are in agreement. So far in agreement.
Yeah, I just want to touch on what Miss Taken was saying as far as, it's the mirror of men. It's not the mirror, it's a mirror of the men that you wanted to emulate. Because oftentimes there's fathers and uncles and brothers that tell you, hey, don't do XYZ. But because you got jaded, like you talk about the men that got jaded, you decided to mirror the thing and you became the exact same thing that you hated. So it's not that
It's still a mirror
uh
nonetheless,
yeah,
regardless of the
but
reason.
it's not a mirror of
I'm gonna
majority of the
answer.
men though. That's what I'm saying.
Just like
It's
it's
like
not a
it's a
mirror of
mirror of
majority
a
of women.
select
I
men.
agree. There's no disagreement in that. That's what I was saying. Majority of women aren't hoes. Majority of women aren't doing the things that y'all are saying that majority of Black women are doing.
They're not.
Majority of them aren't. So I totally agree.
So
That majority of men are probably not going around doing all of those things.
for sure. For sure. And I wanted to go because somebody said something about the natural order is key, right? And that's the dilemma because people are not getting married. So basically, she has to prolong her urge to the point where she's out of bound at this point. She's in her 30s, 40s to the point where she's about to lose that opportunity. So you're asking her to just lose the opportunity to not, so with him, if we say, okay, but you shouldn't be having sex with these women until marriage, he gets to sow his word. He doesn't have to. There's no order because you get like men set the standard. It's like, oh, you can do whatever you want to do. But you're saying to her, like, until this man, and she could be with a guy, right? Until a man puts a ring on, or he's ready to solidify, you have to wait to hold that urge of wanting to have a kid to the point where you could possibly lose the opportunity to have a kid because of the order of operation, right? So think about so think about it. To just take this moment to think about it from a female's perspective. I think that men, you guys have the power of commitment. You have the power of marriage, but it's almost to the point where it's like, I don't think we think about all the things that are lost in that process from the woman's standpoint. When she's trying to do things right, because I think that those women who are in their 30s, late 30s and 40s, I think they had relationships. I just think that those relationships they end in marriage and they just really want to do it right. But unfortunately, the opportunity cost is they can't have a kid now. Like they may never be able to have a child because now they're out of that range because the guy who they trusted to solidify the deal or the guys never did.
I think wasting somebody's time like that is wrong. Yeah, I think that's really wrong because there is a biological clock on women, and to hold them in a relationship where you don't plan on committing, marrying, and having children with them for past the clock, that's wrong. If you have no intention to do that, I definitely agree. But I want to say, have you ever heard of like mating strategies?
Tell us about
In
it.
the animal kingdom.
Okay, so like human mating strategies, they say is like it's a saying called alpha plucks beta bucks. So essentially, what it is like a woman will get the man that she genetically, her biology tells her that she wants to be with. Typically, when they're younger, they date them and have, or not even date them, but have sex with him and end up getting pregnant by that man, and you produce like a baby that biologically is what you want, and then you settle for the man that probably is the best provider to provide a stable life. You never heard this theory before?
Please don't suggest this. Are you suggesting this, Marcus?
No, I'm saying this is what's going on right now.
I understand what you're saying. Oh, that for sure. That is what's going on. I agree.
Yeah. So to say that women are moving against their biology, I'm saying that they may be moving in their biology too. It's out of order, but
Right. But it just doesn't look good for society to move that way. There's a
Where
cost.
like men pretend that they're not cheating and women are doing the same, moving in that same way that you was just talking about. Because society says this is the way you're supposed to operate, but people are operating in their biology as opposed to societal rules.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.